Hello everyone, Survival Showcase. Tonight I just wanted to go over some rifle cleaning with everybody, just show everybody the demonstration that I can give you with this rifle here. This is a Savage Model 12 FCV in 22-250. I have a Weaver scope on top, it's a 3-15. Okay, so for cleaning the rifle, there's a lot of different possibilities that you can go with. You can start out with some basic kits, and these have lots of little parts that come with. This one here is by Clean Bore, and it has, you see, there's little segments of a rod there, and you screw them all together, and you end up with this on the end, and it forms, this one here is for 22 cal, 22 to 270, and it forms one long rod once you get it all together. It has a chamber brush there you can brush parts of the rifle out with. Little box of cleaning patches, and that's it that this one here has. It has a nice detailed instruction up on the top of how to clean your rifle. This kit here, it's a good one if you're just starting out. It's not very expensive. It's not going to break the bank or anything. It'll get you going. Another thing that this is useful for is you can take all these parts out of here and throw them in your kit bag. If you're going away hunting, you'll have a system that you can clean with out in the field. So that's the Clean Bore system. The other one's a Remington one. It's a little more deluxe. It's still a pieced together rod. You screw it all together. Rem oil, bore bright. You got your gun cleaning patches. You got your swabs, and you got your brushes. A little more expensive kit, probably around the $40 mark. It's a good little kit to start out with as well. One I like to use is the one-piece rod system. And this is the one that I use for the 22 caliber stuff that I'm working on. And it has a bearing system up here in the top. This one here happens to be by Parker Hale. And I have an adapter here on the end because Parker Hales are female threads versus male threads. So if I take this off, this is a Clean Bore patch puller, and I have a Parker Hale adapter right here, and that allows me to put a standard threaded cleaning piece on the end. And if you get that piece to come off, you'll see that the Parker Hale is a male thread on the end, where Clean Bore and the Remington are female threads. So it's kind of handy to have that adapter to let you use all the other pieces as well. So I don't think that they're making the Parker Hale stuff anymore. Maybe they are, but I haven't seen a lot of it out there. I know that anything I've come across has been, all the pieces have been female thread versus male thread. So for this, I have a patch puller on there. That was that red piece that I showed you. And what that does, it has a little hole in the end, and you take your patch. What I do is I tend to fold them over. So you want to fold it over like that so you get a nice little point on the end. Doesn't matter which end you use, and then you're just going to run it through the patch puller and pull it through. So you get that piece, so you get right about in the middle. And then that will slide through your bore, just like that. And you can put a little bit of solvent on there, and you can wet the bore down that way. Next, you're probably after you get some solvent in there, and you get it nice and soaked inside the bore. You'll take one of these brushes. That's a 22 cal brush, and you'll thread that onto the end of your cleaning rod. This actually happens to be a Parker Hale brush, which I probably won't wreck. I'll use one of the other ones. And it goes on there, and then you can scrub the bore probably about 7 or 8 times completely all the way so that it comes out the end of the bore and comes all the way back into the chamber and all the way out and all the way back in so that you're touching the whole thing. After you get that done, you can take your patch puller with a new clean patch on it and run it back through the bore once or twice. Take that out, discard the patch, grab your jag, which is a little piece like this with a point on the end. I have a couple of them. Another one right here. And you're going to take a new patch. You're going to find right about in the center, and you're going to poke a hole through. You put that on your rod, and you're going to push that out, and it's going to push tight. And that's the idea. You want it to squeeze every little bit, every little drop of grime and grease and solvent and oil, everything you want out of there. That's what's really going to clean the bore of your rifle. So now that I've kind of gone through the different steps of it, I've showed you the cleaning kits. I've showed you the one-piece rod. This is great for the bench. It's a lot easier. You don't have to mess around putting it together, and it has the bearing in it. So you don't have to worry about the pieces coming apart inside. It's going to turn freely in your hand. Your hand's not going to obstruct it in any way and cause it to come apart. It's just going to spin inside the barrel with the rifling. That one's for the bench. This one here, good little kit to start you out with. Or you can take it and throw it in your kit bag when you go out in the field. If you got to clean your rifle quick, you have something there. For solvents, on this one here, since it's a 22-250 and those bullets come out of there flying pretty quick, I like to use a copper solvent. This is Hoppy's number 9 bench copper solvent. And this jug here doesn't have very much in it, I just have a little bit into it. And what I'll do is when I get down, I'll dump some more in there, a little bit more, and I'll just keep using this one here so I don't contaminate a whole batch of Hoppy's bench press solvent. There's a full bottle there, believe it or not. That's a really old bottle, and it's completely full. I haven't even touched it yet. Glass jar with a metal top. So that's what I'm using for the solvent. If I want to take and put a nice little film of oil in the bore after I'm all done cleaning, I have some Hoppy's number 9 oil. And other products that I've used that seem to work really great too is Rem oil, which has a little Teflon coating in it, and G96. G96 is one of the things I'd put on anybody's bench. It's safe on plastics, woods, everything. You don't have to worry about that stuff whatsoever. It won't harm any part of the rifle. It's just it's an all-around great lubricant and cleaner. Other ones that I've used for solvents, I've used the Remington bore paste. That works really well too. It's cleaned out some rifles pretty well for me. There's a gun conditioner there, Formula 3 by Clean Bore. That's one operation, does all 3, cleans, lubricates, and prevents rust. So that's a good one there you could throw in your kit bag because it may not clean out all the copper or anything like that, but it's a good all-around cleaner. So if you want one thing to take with you so you don't have 5 different solvents and oils and everything else with you, that's the one to take. Okay, we'll get this rifle, we'll take it apart, we'll check the chamber, and we'll run through an actual cleaning of it. So the first thing you want to do with any rifle before you clean it or anything like that is you want to check and make sure that it's safe. This rifle is pretty simple. Safety off, just open up the bolt, pull it back, and you can inspect the chamber there, make sure there's nothing in there that's going to go bang. To pull out the bolt on this one here, you're going to press the trigger back, and there's a little tab. This is one of the newer ones, so there's a little tab in front of the trigger guard. You just press it into it, both of them at the same time, and then the bolt, you can just pull it out. Set that off to the side. I like to drop out the magazine because I don't want crud falling in there. Anything else that I'm going to do with this one? Is I'm also going to take off my bipod and my sling. The back one, quick detach, so just unscrew and then push out. Bipod, we'll screw up at the front, which is a front stud, and it comes off like that. Set these other rods out of the way. One thing that I like to use is my MTM maintenance center. It's a great little holder for doing any kind of work on rifles or shotguns. It's got its cradles in there. Just set it in and voila. It's in there, it's not going to move around, it's not going to fall over or tip or on you, wreck your scope or anything like that. For me, I keep all my cleaning pieces in little glass jars, so I've got all my brushes, swabs, and jags, and every patch pullers all in this one. Another one for reloading parts. And another one again for just little knickknacks. That one there has ear defenders, little plugs and stuff in there. It's kind of handy, keeps the bench clean, I don't have stuff flying all over the place. So we're going to use the Parker Hale rod. It's 22 to 270 caliber rod. I'm going to thread my little adapter on the end. Patch puller on. Now, get on there, lock that up, twist. Place. Set that off to the side or I'll spill it. So you're going to put this right into the receiver, through the back of the receiver, remove the bolt, into the chamber, and push that right through the bore of the rifle, and right up the other end. Then, without pulling it back through, you're going to take your patch out. And I'm going to do that again. Now you see that I've got a bunch of little patches cut up over here. I didn't have any of the pre-made store patches like this one here for the 17 cal. So what I did is I had a strip of these, and when I cut these into threes, they make perfect tight-fitting 22 cal patches. Work awesome. Nice cotton patch. Then I'll lay these on. Centered. More solid. And once more, the back of the receiver into the chamber. Push through the bore. Very easy that time to slide it through. You see I got a little bit of juice out the end. It's kind of it's got a little bit of a blue tinge to it, and that is the copper coming out of the bore. So now that I've got a good supply of the solvent in there, I'm going to switch jobs. Now all I have are phosphate brushes. One problem with phosphate brushes compared to the nylon brushes is that they will always tend to leave a little bit of black in there because it's a solvent cleaner, it's a copper cleaner solvent, so it is actually going to try and clean this copper as well as anything that was left in the bore. It won't really matter because when you push the final patches through, it's going to clean out all the grime anyways. The nice thing about the phosphate brushes is that they're a little more aggressive than the nylon ones. They tend to get in there and clean a little bit more of the grime out. So now I've found my brush. It's a little clean bore brush. Got my adapter. It's on there perfect. Attach that to the Parker Hale rod. I really love this rod. That is a great rod. It's too bad that I don't think they're making them anymore, but if you can get your hands on one, grab it up for your bench. You'll love it. So now that we've got enough solvent in there, we're going to run this brush through the bore. And it's going to fit tight. See, I'm holding the rod. Ease it in there. Brand new brush, so yeah. Your hand to guide it. So you'll bend your rod. Go through, all the way back. Starting to slide a little easier now. So now you can see the rod does have a bunch of grime on it all over the place. You can actually see it's almost the shape of the rifle. You're going to get grimy from this, so it's good to have a towel around or a pair of pants or something that you can wipe on. These are my everyday pants for going into the bush and stuff. You've seen me do videos back there, so they're good to clean up nice. So now that we're done that, I'm going to take and run some of the, I'm going to do one pass with patch puller and just put a nice clean patch through. So after you've run that through, you're going to take this brush off, put the patch puller back on. Just the same as before, you're going to take one of these, fold it over. Point. Through. Push through once. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I just want to force a little bit of the stuff out of there before I really throw a tight jag through there and try and fit that through. Get a little bit of it out. Just once is all you really need. So after you've run that through, you're going to take this brush off, put the patch puller back on, Just the same as before, you're going to take one of these, fold it over. Point. Through. Push through once. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I just want to force a little bit of the stuff out of there before I really throw a tight jag through there and try and fit that through. Get a little bit of it out. Just once is all you really need. You may need to take and cut down a patch. And that's all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to cut it a little bit smaller. Should still fit fairly snug. I'm going to try my other jag. I have a shorter jag here as well. You're going to find the center of your patch again. Just roughly, it doesn't have to be exact. Fairly close. Put that on there. And that slides through much better. If it's going through and it's too tight and you're pushing the whole stand like I was with the last jag, the jag patch combination just wasn't working. The patch was too big. So I took it off, I reduced the size of the patch. Now it goes through, it's still fairly tight and it's pushing a lot of grime out of there. That's the patch there that I just pushed through, and you can see that there's little lines on there. It's pretty dry in there now. I pushed out a lot of that solvent with just a patch puller the last time. That was the one there last time. It's got a lot of juice on there, a lot of blue grime. There's all the different patches from using the patch puller. Sliding stuff through there too as well. So we're going to do this a couple times. Now I'm done with my solvent, I'll do that back up. Put it away. Leave a little more this time on the patch. Find center. Insert to the chamber into the bore. And shove down, yeah. That's done much better. Each time, they come out a little cleaner. You can see that. And the idea is to keep doing this until you can't get any grime at all. That's what you want to keep doing. You can keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until you get absolutely nothing on it. Then, you're going to go back to the patch puller. I'm going to add just a little bit of oil to this. For for this one, I'm going to leave that in the end. I'm going to pull one backwards with it. Hook it up good. Just pull that one back and forth a couple times. Oil's still left in there, so you might want to take one last patch. And you don't have to worry about wiping out all the oil. It's still going to leave a nice thin film all over the inside of the bore of the rifle. This is the last thing that we touched it with. Push that through once. You're good to go. Rifle bore is now cleaned. It's good for storage. Before you shoot it, you want to run a patch through it again just to make sure there's no obstructions or anything that was left over in there. Always check the bore of your rifle before you load up a bullet through it. We know this one's safe because I checked it and it looks really clean down through there. It shines really nice. Alright, thanks for watching my video tonight, and that was cleaning a rifle.